So today, what are we covering? We are covering some pretty straightforward one, which is vocabulary close. Now, vocabulary close is different from open-ended close. Okay, vocabulary close is the one where uh, they um, they underline a word and then they give you four options, and then you have to pick the word that can replace the underlined word in the best way possible. All right, that's vocabulary close. So today we're talking about collocations. All right, collocations are basically English words that always come together. All right, and then they make sense. For example, you always say make a wish, right? So make a wish is an English collocation because it's so common. Yeah. During your birthday, when you're blowing out your birthday candles, people always say, "Oh, make a wish, make a wish, Raphael, make a wish." You sing that kind of thing, right? They don't tell you, "Oh, create a wish," or "imagine a wish," or "think of a wish." That kind of, no, they don't, right? They say make a wish, right? So that's what I mean by collocation. It's just words that always are paired up together, and they've been paired up for so long in English that they automatically just come together and create a meaning. Okay? Yes, right? Lavanya, like for example, like open the door, right? There are only a few actions you can do with the door, right? You can open the door, you can close the door. What else can you do? You can bang into the door, I guess. You can kick the door, you can punch the door. You can try to remove the door, of course, if you want to. You can knock the door, that's right. But then there are some things that you can't do. Like for example, you can't pass through the door. All right, if you pass through the door, it means right your body can just go into like a super like semi-transparent and just go through the door like that. If you have that special power, you can go into anywhere. You can go into the bank and just take the money from inside, right? So that doesn't make sense. Okay. Uh, yes. Lavanya said if she removes the door, she's going to get it from her parents. Okay, so that's what we're looking at today, collocations. All right, so today we'll cover grammar close, okay, first, and then vocabulary close set one, and vocabulary close set two later on. Um, I will give you a 5 minutes break when we're halfway through the lesson, more or less, and then I can add the Robux to Sim during that time. Okay, let's start. So grammar close is very easy. All right. Just look at the words on top. All right. Know what words you can use for your helping words. Over here, we have the words on, from, about, by, in, for, behind, into. And then before we start answering, we should read the passage to understand what the passage is actually talking about. A mouse and a frog were friends. Every morning the frog would hop out of his pond and visit his friend, who lived what a hole at the side of a tree. He would return home blank noon every day. Um, One day, the mouse waited for the frog to visit her, but he did not appear. Thinking something was amiss, right? When you think something is amiss, it means something is wrong, right? Something just isn't right. The mouse rushed to the pond and saw the frog struggling to free himself blank a net. Immediately, the mouse jumped blank the pond and saved her friend. She carried the frog out of the pond. The frog was grateful to the mouse blank saving his life. He thanked her for being a great friend. So for this one, I think it's only 5 questions. Okay, so very straightforward. First one, everyone got it right except for Wei Hong. Wei Hong needs to give me the answer for question one. A frog would hop out of his pond and visit his friend, who lived what a hole. Keeping in mind that this friend over here is actually the mouse. So the mouse what? Mouse who lived what? That's right. So the answer is E. Okay, which everyone got it. All right, the answer is E. The mouse lived in a hole at the side of a tree. He would return home what noon every day. This one, Wei Hong got it wrong as well. Wei Hong, you picked A. You don't say on noon. what do we say? Noon is a time, right? An exact time. So if you return before that, all right, that's like your end mark. Like you cannot do anything, like you shouldn't return after that. So that's your end mark. So what's the best answer for that? Let me cancel E over here. He would return what noon? The meaning here is like before noon. Don't pick A, pick another answer. Yes, Wei Hong, you are correct. The answer is D, right? You return home by sorry, I was about to write D, then I wrote a B, I'm not sure why I did that. So if you return home by noon, it means before noon. All right, noon over here refers to 12 p.m., right? That's what noon refers to. So if you return home by noon, all right, it means before 12 p.m. you would have gone home. All right, one day the mouse, blah, 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 blah. Question three, Liam got it wrong. The rest got it correct. So far, we've used E and we've used D. All right. Liam, online, you gave me the answer E. So E is wrong because we've already used E for question one. And I don't understand something, Liam. Why did you get number one correct, right? You put E for number one, but you also put E for number three. How can you use the same answer twice? That doesn't make sense. Okay, but you have corrected yourself. Very good. The answer here must be B. To free himself from, all right, from a net. Immediately, the mouse jumped what? The pond. Over here, Wei Hong got it wrong. Okay, we've used B, D, and E. Wei Hong, the online answer you gave me for number 4 was E. We can't use E over here, right? The mouse jumped what? The pond. So over here, the frog was still within the pond, right? So what's the better answer here? The frog was caught in the net, all right, within the pond. Yes, the answer is H for this one. Good. So the mouse jumped into the pond to save the frog. All right, so we've used H over here. So this one, Wei Hong corrected himself. And the rest got the last part correct. The last part is F. All right, the frog was grateful to the mouse for, all right, for saving his life. He thanked her for being a great friend. Now, for this grammar close over here, boys and girls, there are a few legends, right? People who got everything correct and they get bonus points. So the first legend I would like to announce here is Janelle. All right, Janelle is an absolute legend. She got everything correct. That's +5 to her. Good job, Janelle. And she gets one more point for being awesome. The next legend we have over here is Lavanya. Lavanya got everything correct, so that's +5 to Lavanya and +1, right, for being awesome. All right, for Liam, he had one error, but he corrected it. So Liam gets 5 points. Okay, and then we have Emmett. Emmett is a legend as well. All right, Emmett gets 5 points +1 for being awesome, amazing. Okay. Hey, where's Emmett? Emmett disconnected. He's suddenly gone. Okay, and then we have Raphael. Raphael is the next legend. But Raphael, you have to be careful. When you key in your answers for this part, all your letters must be capital letters, yeah, not small letters. You put in small letters online. Okay, make sure it's all capital letters, yeah? But Raphael is a legend as well. +5 and then +1. Okay, and then we have Wei Hong. Wei Hong had 3 errors, and he corrected all 3 of them. So Wei Hong gets 5 points. And last but not least, we have Yusing. Yusing is a legend as well. She gets 5 +1 because she got everything correct online. Okay, so far so good. Let me move on to the next part. Okay, now, before we go into vocabulary close, boys and girls, I would like to talk about this thing called collocation, right? When you choose between options, think about how the words are used, right, within the sentence itself, right? Not just the dictionary meaning. Does your answer that you choose amongst A, B, C, D, right, does it collocate or does it fit in with the rest of the sentence it's in and the rest of the passage as well? Okay, so for example, over here, all right, this is a short passage. It says, Steve wanted to attend only lessons that interested him. He chose to spend many months sitting in on calligraphy classes. Calligraphy is the art of writing, right, beautifully. And it's mostly writing in the Chinese language, right? That's calligraphy. Okay. Back then, the labels on every drawer and every poster in the university were beautifully handwritten using calligraphy. He wanted to learn how to do that. Okay. So calligraphy is also used in English, all right, to write the letters beautifully. The calligraphy course seemed quite irrelevant to electronics, which was his main interest. However, years later, Steve found a use for it. So over here, the word that we're looking at is the word irrelevant. All right. Irrelevant means not relevant. Like, what has writing classes got to do with making good electronics? You know what I mean? So the Steve that they are talking about here, right, is not just any ordinary Steve. They are talking about Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. Okay, so he found a use for his calligraphy, all right, later on. But anyway, which statement, not statement, sorry, it's supposed to be which word best collocates with the word irrelevant, as in like it has the same meaning, all right? Is it futile? Is it useless? Is it unrelated? Or is it disconnected? Now, we do a comparison, right? Okay, we know the answer is 3 over here, unrelated, but we do a comparison. Oh, sorry, I forgot to change back to the main screen. No one told me. Oh no. So this is the Steve Jobs. This is the Steve Jobs passage over here. Okay, so the word that we're interested in is the word irrelevant. All right, irrelevant. So if we look at the options, futile, useless, unrelated, disconnected. Let's write it down here. Futile, unrelated, disconnected, and useless. And then we substitute the words in, okay? Futile meaning like you do something right, but it doesn't work. So over here, the calligraphy course seemed quite futile to electronics. Can we say futile to electronics? No, we can't, right? Can the course seem like it doesn't, like the course put in effort? No, you only say something is futile when you put in effort. Yeah. So for example, I can say, although Janelle tried to befriend the neighborhood cat many times by giving it milk and fish, all right, it still refused to become friends with her. So I can say Janelle's efforts were futile, right? Futile means in the end, nothing came out of it, right? It didn't work. So that's what futile means. So to be futile in the first place, you need to put in effort. But over here, we are talking about the calligraphy course. Okay? I don't know whether cats can drink milk or not. I'm not really a cat person. But anyway, it's a calligraphy course, so it's not a human. Okay? So can a calligraphy course seem futile to electronics? It cannot, right? Because it's not a human. It didn't put in effort. The electronics didn't put in effort. The calligraphy course didn't put in effort.